kidding me? Half man, half amazing.
We're legendary.
He is a Hall of Famer. He is Vince Carter.
That can't get old.
You have to always say it. It's like it's in the deal and it's the title.
I'm still not there yet. I'm still getting used to it. No,
it's forever. It's anywhere you go for the rest of your life. It's Hall of Famer Vince Carter. That's kind of cool. I like that for you.
It is kind of cool.
we got the
What's up, Tar Heel?
VC, what's up, my dog? You know, all right?
Everything. Yeah, man, I'm good. You know.
Carolina soccer girls team. Shout out to them. Get another natty.
Shout out to the soccer team. Yes,
number
sir.
22 for the women's soccer team.
Oh, okay.
Running them up.
Okay.
Don't just say it like that. Just don't say it like that. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
I mean, wow, that's life-changing. I'll go home and write about it. Thank you.
How about the Florida Gators, number 9th in the country in Florida in men's basketball? BC, what up?
They are doing pretty well.
9th.
About time.
Look, he was shocked, by the way. That was pure shock on his face that you just said 9. Okay, fine. Let's do cup
knockout. And we play North Carolina coming up, by the way. Complete side note.
Wait, are you guys going to have a bet?
I mean, I feel like it has to happen.
Can we have a bet?
I'm sure I'll receive a text.
Yeah.
Something's going to go down. Let's the cup. We had Bobby Portis on talking about the $500,000, and I just laughed because he was very real about it, like a normal person would be about $500,000. If they had this when you were playing, what kind of incentive would this just little cash, little trip to Vegas, like what would that give you?
I mean, it depends. Obviously, depends on your tax bracket, but at the same time, I mean, money is money, and it's another opportunity to go win. And I've said this before, more so than the money, what it does for young teams, it gives them an opportunity to see where they are in that type of environment and competition, because everybody does not, particularly now, all these young teams does not have the experience in playoff environments. So I feel like that is very helpful. I think it helped Indiana, to really see how they were playing. And like, oh yeah, they had that swagger until it was time to go and play the Lakers, who've been there, and see, no, we're not there yet. But now you get to the playoffs, you understand the environment. So more so than the money, I feel like that is a huge. This is huge for a coach.
I think it would have been
mature
back
answer.
then. The inflation part of it, 500,000 now for your early days, Vince, is probably a good 800.
100%.
Yeah, so I think guys would have been very incentivized to hoop.
It's a nice check. It's a nice bonus.
Obviously, they already were incentivized. You know, the old school days, the good days when they played every game 82 and played through injuries. Guys earned their check and they fought for it. They didn't need that much incentive, but this would have definitely made guys.
A lot of
fights.
A lot of
love to see.
I like
a lot of guys kind of keep their spending money separate from like their endorsements and everything.
Sure.
This is an extra $500,000 bag that they
can do whatever you want.
Not touch their contract money. You know what I mean? So it's a huge incentive for sure.
I know it's just fun to even think about. So we got these are the matchups, right? Magic, Bucks, Mavs, Thunder, Hawks, Knicks, Warriors, Rockets. Predicky time. Who do you think's winning this whole thing? That's a tough one, like right now.
I mean, Dallas is playing great right now. I still like OKC as far as what they've brought to the table this year. Like Dagnall has his boys playing great basketball. So
Yeah, it's tough.
Pick two.
No worries.
Wait,
I took Dallas. I think whoever wins this game tonight, Dallas or Oklahoma City, I think Luka is a show pony. There's no stage too big for him and Kyrie. They've done it on the biggest stage before. This is nothing to them. They're peaking right now. They're healthy. They're playing well. I think it's Dallas's to lose.
I think this cup game or this cup championship, I always like to pick an underdog. I feel like, to me, it's more of an NCAA type of tournament type of feel, and anybody can win it. Obviously, it's like one game.
So you're saying Houston?
So yes, I had.
You like the Magic, Joe.
I kind of felt like he was saying.
I liked Orlando and I liked Golden State until as of late, and then obviously injuries with Orlando. So I'm liking Houston. I like Houston for this.
Babies.
This is something for these younger teams to get excited for and win. Like give them something to win for, get excited about. So, and
okay,
so
I'll
one
say
game
this
elimination.
real quick.
It could be anybody at this point.
Yeah.
I'll say this. I think if you said the underdog, if you pick an underdog, why not Milwaukee, who has not played great all year and starting to pick it up? I think Giannis is playing great. They got, I think, a shot of life with Middleton. He's not shooting well, but like he gives them more offense. Obviously, defense has been their Achilles heel. But there's another team, like you said, it's just we got to just win one. get a little break. Just got to win one. And now I can put the ball in Giannis and let Giannis go crazy and draw fouls and just get us a win. So I think that's another underdog team. I still like you said, either OKC or Dallas.
And also the Magic, they don't want to overlook anybody, but they're looking at the Magic right now too. Like, okay, no Paolo, no Franz. Like, we are going to Vegas, and then
they might smoke. They might smoke this
game.
game.
Yeah, they can't play with their
food. For some reason, I like Milwaukee as an underdog, but I'm just not rolling right now. They've been playing well. And I think a younger team for this Cup tournament makes sense. You know,
before the season started, I put money on the Knicks. So if that happens, I am a genius.
Vince,
once again.
Is this something that, like, as a teammate, if you had a bunch of young guys into the bench not making a bunch of money, does that obviously naturally, like, you want to play harder than any other game just to get them that bread?
Especially if these guys, if you have young guys who are good young guys, you know how it is. When you got good young guys who are listening, who do everything they need to do, like kind of like LeBron did for them. He said, our young guys, I want to win this for them. And you saw how excited. You got to see how excited those young guys were. So, yeah, for sure. Like, I've always had a good rapport with young guys and want to get them the opportunity. We even have games where we want to get them minutes. We want to go out there, hey, let's push the lead so these guys can get in. So, for sure, it is an incentive to go out there and put some more money in these guys' pockets.
LeBron could also just not won it last year and broke them off with $500,000 each.
That's like tax write-off.
It's not like there's something in his contract says he couldn't have done that anyways.
Well,
this is a fact. But he didn't have to now.
Yeah, Christmas
no, it's
is right around the corner.
Because you actually earn it, too. Like, you are earning it, but you get a shot at something different. I love this.
Get a banner, too.
Yeah.
No rings, medals, little gold, little medals, little medals.
No, we did not do this yesterday. So the Ja Morant dunk from the weekend. This is on Saturday. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful.
Very VC.
Oh. Yeah. So that's the thing, VC.
Nasty. Very VC.
People thought of you immediately.
That's nasty.
What'd you think?
Especially the fact he's 6'3".
Does it look like a mirror?
I mean, he's I don't know about a mirror because he's shorter.
Yeah.
But at the same time, but his ability to just glide through the air and just figure it out. Like, I mean, you can tell he's like, okay, let me get under, let me get through.
It, though. It's nasty.
There it is. Like, it's one of those. He's trying to just, let me get through. All right, now let me finish it. So I was doing, it's funny, when I tell the story, I was doing mine for protection. You see that Davis boy right there?
Yeah, he's trying to take your head.
I was trying to avoid Dale Davis and this, you're going to say what you're going to say, that's fine. But realize, oh, shoot, the rim is there. But I was more so going for the reverse layup and the rim is there and I dunk it. So I feel like for Ja, it's kind of the same type situation. He sees the big, let me get to the other side. Oh, yeah, I'm an athlete. I can dunk it. So, yeah, I mean, I definitely see.
You know damn well you just saw the two white boys in the paint and you had no fear.
No, did you hear what I just said? I saw Dale Davis.
He's giving not the 2 7-foot white guys up in the paint that are actually trying to block the shot.
Davis.
What the funniest part about this whole dunk is, this is right after Ja Morant said he's done dunking.
Yeah, he said it before that.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm not dunking anymore.
And then does the nastiest dunk of the season so far.
Yeah, I mean, that's just kind of what it is. He's like, I'm not going out to dunk. That's one of those, I'm not going out to look to do a flashy dunk, but, you know, while I'm up here, this is what happens. Correct.
He had some time. He had time to think about it.
I'm up here just floating.
Yeah, it must be nice.
But because that's the thing. I think people like that he said it because they're looking at it as like, okay, cool. He's kind of getting it, the concerns, the maturing, all that stuff. But if you can do what he can do and what you did, how much did you even think about injuries? Or were you just like, no, this is my gift. I'm doing this?
You don't think about injuries. I mean, anybody else who dunks the ball, you don't really see injuries unless there's these little guards who shouldn't be up there. But here's a guy who can do that. He's athletic enough. It's more so learning to protect yourself and time and place. Sometimes you don't take the dunk where you're trying to jump over the 7-footer, but then there's times where it needs to be done.
It's just you see these explosive guards like you see the Derrick Roses, you see them over time kind of wear their body and they become more injury prone. So when you see a guy like Ja with his frail-ish body type, like when he's up there that high, it's scary to see how he's going to come down.
Gotta learn to land, right? Yeah. Learn tuck and roll land. Might be a thing.
It's the coming down and it's the falling. I'm gonna say this. I thought D Wade did a lot of falling in his career, which, trying to draw fouls, hitting the floor. It's hitting the floor a lot also, guys. Yeah, hitting the floor a lot, which beats on your body. I mean, going up is cool. It's coming down, that's kind of that's kind of the thing. I mean, obviously when you're 6'3", but like I said, I feel like just taking the punishment, hitting the floor wrong. So learning how to land, like you said, Danny. And I think protecting yourself. Like sometimes you hit the floor, you got to roll.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can't just fall to take a foul. Oh, because I know it just wears you down because we play so many basketball games, and if you're playing in, if you start hitting that 10+ years, it catches up to you.
Yeah.
What would you do when you would come?
Well, I didn't have this problem going up or coming down, so.
Just want to make sure you give us your 2 cents on that
Neutral. I
topic.
was grounded at most
I
times.
just hung right
He
where
set
I
you
was.
up, man. That is a setup.
Chandler had bounce, man. I don't know what he's talking.
I had
Chandler
sneaky,
I do.
I had sneaky
Chandler
like
had
tip
bounce.
dunk bounce. If you couldn't see me coming, I'd sneak
Chandler
in the back
had
door
bounce.
type of bounce.
Didn't see him coming. LeBron James, I'm sure you were very aware of all the arguing conversation last week. Father time, he's got to end it now, it's over, because he had a bit of a slump. What was your thought process on hearing all of that? Are you in agreement that maybe we're looking at the end?
Minutes. I said it was too many minutes. He was playing too many darn minutes. I actually was covering that game, and he was playing 35-something minutes. And I'm all for him playing every game. That's not the thing. But playing 35 minutes, I just felt like it was a lot. And it's natural. I can tell you, it wears on you regardless of what your mind. Your body is talking to you saying, okay, we need to slow back. So obviously you take practice time off. We know he doesn't like to miss practice, and he wants to play in games, and he's playing to win. I get it, but maybe not 35 minutes. Maybe you preserve him in the first half, and you play your bigger minutes in the second half when he gets better. So I just feel like you have to find time to dial him back, because do you need LeBron James more in the beginning of the season when AD's playing like this, or do you need him from the middle to the back end of the year? I think you need him in the back end.
Vince, does a stretch like this even sneak into LeBron James's mind? Like, this is different. Or is this just a 2-week struggle where the team happens to be playing better without me on the floor? Like, does that even linger in his mind right now, or is it all about his body and how he's feeling?
I think it's all about him understanding who he is, and we all go through bad stretches. I mean, we've all had stretches where we couldn't miss, and you were going to have great nights. And this is the NBA. It was 82 games and 6.5+ months, and you're not going to play great basketball all season long. So you're going to have stretches, but I think it's a mental thing, and I feel like he knows he's LeBron James. On top of that, here's a guy who gets a lot of touches. He gets a lot of touches, so he's going to, Danny, when you shooting bad, what do they tell you to do? Shoot your way out of it. So like LeBron has the ball consistently night in and night out, where this is getting like, all right, y'all enjoy this, because I'm going to put this 29, 30-point triple-double in a couple of days
39.
once I get my legs back.
39-point triple-double is kind of crazy. I don't see him. Father time doesn't seem like it's catching him much. I mean, obviously he has stretches, but he's playing well. And it's hard to limit his minutes when they're losing or they're struggling to win games. But I agree with Vince. I think they need to he can't play more than 30. Like 30 minutes, I think, should be his limit.
Well, this is also why JJ Redick is emphasizing he can't be the energy guy every single night too. He can't be the guy taking charges, setting the tone defensively. Like someone else has to provide that spark.
Didn't LeBron say that's AD? It should be AD. It's his team. This, that, and the other.
Anybody
there's other guys that can step up. You still got D'Lo. You still got Austin. You got other guys. You got vets there.
I feel like AD's still learning how to. I hate to say this because he was the man in New Orleans, but this is a different situation. So we all bitched about him being the alpha #1 go-to guy. So I think he's trying to focus his energy on that. So yes, somebody else has to kind of bring the vocal and the energy, but right now I just need AD to be AD. Keep balling and doing what you're doing. And now it's up to other guys to find their way. And you just have to find, maybe you don't play Bron as many minutes in the first quarter and bring him back, a little later in the second quarter. He could play longer stretches that way. It's just something they have to tweak and figure it out.
Yeah, they got to tinker with the rotation a little bit to figure this out.
I ask, what is so talking so much about minutes limitation, and then you compare that to actual load management where you just are in street clothes for a game. What's the simple answer as to why it's not a better theory or strategy, take Joel Embiid, for example, to have him dressed for every single game, but you're only going to play this many minutes, and then that is it for the night, and instead of just taking whole nights off? Is it that much better to do it that way?
I don't know how to answer that, because I came from an era of that's how it was, because we wanted to play and sit out. No, you could just cut my minutes, which we're going to obviously complain about as well. So that's kind of organization saving us from ourselves sometimes. Like they feel like they have to dial us back, and how you dial us back, you take our uniform.
Yeah.
Because if you're going to cut my minutes, I'm going to play. You're going to take me out. Yes, my body language is probably going to be bad. That's just the fact that I enjoy playing.
That's the issue, is because you can't really limit certain guys' minutes. Once they start playing, it's like, I want to play. Like let
I'm
me
out
play.
here, I might as well.
Especially
some coaches.
It's good for the organization, but it's bad for the player. Some coaches are going to be like, I got my guy here. No, I'm playing him.
And if I'm a coach,
with the backlash later.
If I'm a coach, with Joel Embiid only playing 14 minutes tonight, it's almost easier for me to have rotations and everything in place if he's just not available at all.
Gotcha.
Rather than having to mix him in and have him play this whole different role, and then he knows he's playing only 14 minutes, and then he's doing things he usually doesn't do. He's trying to get a rhythm.
He
sees the guy come to the scores table, he's hoisting bad shots because he knows he's coming. It's just a bad situation.
I think the biggest issue, though, when it's good for the organization but bad for the player, because ultimately the player wants to play, and it hurts their statistical numbers.
I wonder this all the time.
All the bonuses they have for the stats and accolades.
Our contracts, when it comes to contract negotiations, my numbers have to look good so I can present it to you so I can get the best possible contract.
If I have 6 points and 3 rebounds in 14 minutes, that's
why I wish
shitting on my numbers.
And they need to fix that. They got to figure that out.
That's why I wish Joel didn't come out and say about him not playing, because it's now glorified. And we anytime he goes and plays 14 minutes or doesn't play well, it's bringing more attention to what was already an issue with injuries and how he's going to play. So I just wish he didn't say that, whether it was a thing that they were doing or not. Let us just see that and kind of decipher that ourselves.
And let's face it, 14 minutes, he can still get hurt in those 14 minutes. He's not going to get hurt playing 0 minutes, so it's just less risk overall.
Yeah. I wondered that before, because there's so much talk about this. Like, what is the solution? I don't actually know. And you know what? Since we're on Joel, I'm going to go to this and we'll come back. But he did return. He had 31 and 12. But he did say after this one that the season has been depressing. He used the word depressing, saying it's not a new injury and it's got to be figured out. We've, on this show, said, shut it down. Just shut the whole thing down. We'll figure it out. Let him heal for real. Do whatever he's got to do. Where are you on Joel Allen? Because I think when he comes in and does have 31 points after all of this, it's almost more confusing for, like, the fans. And is he hurt or not? And then they're going to question it all over again.
Yeah, especially when he's in and out. So in the beginning of the season, you already knew that there was an issue. The conversation that, in my opinion, that should have been had is like, all right, what is this situation? How do we handle the situation? How long would it take if we do not have him for such and such weeks? Okay, it's only a month. Well, let's go ahead and we'll deal with the backlash of the media and all of that stuff now. Take this month of getting right and then inserting him into the season. I think that's, in my opinion, that's the way to go. Instead of in and out, because it's like, oh, I feel a little better. And then you're going to take a step back to, well, he's not going to feel, hey, just take the month or whatever you need and move, get him right and then move forward. And then
what
from
if it's
there,
more than a month, though? What if it's like,
well, that's the conversation you have to have. That's
and
what I'm
then
saying.
At least when he comes back, okay, this is going to work or not.
That it's real.
Yeah, and you get the amount of time you need to actually heal, because like that's the thing. He played it all summer, and that was my concern. It's like it's great to see Joel in there, but he's playing more games. We already know how it is with him and his body with playing games. So by him playing more games in the Olympics in the summer, what does that do for the Sixers in the season? And we're seeing it now. So that's kind of the up and down with him playing.
I
think at this point in the season, it's hard to shut them down. Especially, it doesn't help that they're with 13th place.
And then you have 31 points on one night, and you shut it down.
So, I think I keep the minute restriction 25 at max 30, but keep it at 25. And the team has to get used to playing with him at some point. Like, these guys, a lot of these new guys have not. You got to find a way to string along some games. Can you give them a break right before All-Star, maybe? Or in January, but you have to string along. They're winning some games right now. You have to string along someone just to keep you in contention of the play-in.
Game and a half out of the play-in.
If you shut them down right now, they're going to be dead last, and you don't want to be behind DC. You don't want to be behind Charlotte, like the Horn. You don't want to be behind those teams.
Well, you don't have to be. I agree. Yeah.
Good draft pick. We'll take a quick break. More Vince Carter, Hall of Famer, DC, when we come back.
The running back.
Vince, I want to ask you about Charles Barkley. He said recently that super teams, he hates them. He considers it cheating, which is an interesting
salt. Pass
choice
the salt.
Of words.
Pass the salt.
I mean, I understand Charles, his stance on that, because he came, I can say he, but we came from an era where, you didn't look at teams or situations like that. You wanted to kind of do it yourself. And it's just the changing of the guard. And, I mean, I played against that Golden State team that had KD on it, and it was sometimes when you're playing great defense, and in 2 seconds on the shot clock, it's either Steph throwing one in because he's wide open, or it's Clay's wide open, or
Jeez.
KD's out. You're like, man, this is not fair, man. I mean, it's just the way it is, and sometimes there's some days I'm like, man, this is crazy. This is but I understand what it is, and it's kind of a roundabout answer, but it's like I look at it like when I played, I did it wasn't a thing, and same with Chuck, and now you see it, and it's just. The NBA's trying to figure out. I mean, I'd love to hear y'all stand. So
it feels a little bit like a cop-out. Like I know you don't.
Charles to say it.
No. For guys to do it.
Like
again, do you want that ownership? Do you want to do it yourself? It's obviously not that easy to do it yourself.
But how many super teams have been successful?
It's not.
The Heat, the Warriors,
and then everybody else. Not so. To me, if it's within the cap, it's not cheating, but it doesn't look great. But not all of them work out well. I think it's.
The
Some
Dodgers?
of them go in the
Dodgers are a good one.
The opposite direction.
But they don't have a cap.
A lot of teams go in the opposite direction.
They are
so like
super.
we've seen Brooklyn happen. We see Phoenix right now.
That's
like
fair.
there's teams that it just doesn't go. It goes in the opposite direction. So it's a
it's
risk.
still not
remember the Lakers
guaranteed
tried
either.
it? You remember the Lakers tried it with Gary Payton and
Carmelo.
Carmelo?
That doesn't exactly always do
I
that.
thought that was guaranteed. Yeah, but I thought that was guaranteed. You look at the Houston team with Barkley,
Keem and all of them.
Olajuwon and Pippen and all that. That was my second year, but they were older. And
So yeah.
Really? Throw that in there? Rude. By the way, were you anti, like, let's say, because you could have technically joined a team, like a really well put together super team at some point.
I was never a superstar, so you got to ask Vince.
Was that a no, or did you think about it in the later years?
in my later year, I mean, that was always the thing. People ask me why didn't I do it, but I don't know. I wanted to. Well, in my later years, I wanted to play.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to be on a super team if I didn't play, and maybe I could have and could not have, but it just never was my thing. Because I didn't come from that era. I mean, yeah, of course. Yeah, but we tried to get some free agency. We tried to get Shaq as a free agent some time ago. I will say that, but it didn't work out.
What's interesting is a guy like Blake Griffin, right, who people think he's 50-50 on making the Hall of Fame. I think he's a shoo-in. If he would, the Celtics were wanting him back last year. So if he would have stayed, barely played spot minutes on the Celtics last year, they win a championship. Then Blake Griffin's just an automatic Hall of Famer because he has a championship, but he barely had a role in the team. It's like, at what point does it get watered down so much where it doesn't matter as long as you're on the roster? Like, you know what I mean? Like, would that have really helped Blake get in if he was on that team last year?
If they ask me now,
yeah,
I was like, sure, I'll sit over there. But like, you gotta think, CP, you gotta think about this for a second. As a competitor, sometime, and a guy like Blake, I'm gonna use T-Mac for example. Even AI. Yeah. Remember later years, those guys didn't want to sit on the bench and not be reserve and role players. So it's sometimes these guys look at the bigger picture. Yes, we all wanted championships, but they wanted to do it a certain way because that's what they were accustomed to.
For sure.
And I think that that's kind of just. It's hard to sit there, and that was my issue. It's hard to sit on the end of the bench when you feel like you can still contribute.
Melo didn't even want to come off the bench.
No, he did.
That's what I'm saying.
Who, me?
That's what I'm trying to say. Like there's guys like coming off the bench.
He laughed at the question.
We had Mac and San Antonio.
So some of these guys walked away.
Didn't get one, but he still could go.
Yeah.
Still could play.
I think it's fascinating.
Sorry, Mac, we couldn't get to that championship. We lost.
BC, I see you in Vegas. Are you playing this golf tournament Monday? The NBA Cup tournament? I saw you on the list.
He's not?
Did you?
I saw you on the list.
No, I'm not there. I'll be working. I'll be in studio working until Sunday night. So no.
All right, we'll just move Vince as we say goodbye. All right, we will talk to you soon, sir.
Later, BC.
Appreciate you, big dog. Take it easy.
Always. Go Heels.
Yes, sir.
Running back.